What's up, guys? Bryan Lebo here with your June Las Vegas market update video. Sorry for uploading so late in the month, but hey, the market's on fire out there, right? All right, today we're going to cover the typical analytics, and then we're going to discuss a little bit of fear mongering and misinformation out there. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Okay, first up, our last month's sales. We sold 2,206 homes in June. This was a 44% increase over May's sales, but puts us 17% below last June's sales. Now again, remember that what closed in June went into contract in mid-April and then May. So these numbers are still slightly affected by COVID, but either way, these are great numbers considering. Next, let's check out median home prices. As you can see on the screen, we ended the month with a median price of $325,000. This finally breaks the record set in June of 2006. This also was a 3% increase over the median price in May. So overall, you can't argue with that level of appreciation, especially considering the times that we're living in right now. So the main question here is, should home prices really be rising considering the environment we're living in? We'll get to that later. In the meantime, real quick, this morning there was an awesome article on CNBC with Jamie Dimon, who's the CEO of JP Chase, where he explains that they have no idea what to expect because the economy is being artificially propped up right now by the CARES Act. Now, once that stimulus money goes away, nobody knows what's going to happen. I'll put a link in the description below for you guys. It basically touches on what I've been saying for the past few months. Okay, let's take a peek at the current inventory levels now. As you can see, our inventory dropped about 12% last month to just over 5,000 homes. Now, there's a few interesting ways to look at this statistic. First, since the quarantine began the week of March 11th, our inventory is still up over 17%. So technically, we still have considerable more inventory than before. Now, on the other hand, that's not really proportionate. See, that number I just showed you means nothing until you factor in how many homes are being sold monthly. See, 5,000 homes seems low, but if you're only selling 1,000 homes per month, that's actually a balanced market, right? But consider this, last July, we sold 3,000 homes. Considering the market seems to be really hot right now, if we match last year's sales, that only gives us a 7-week supply of inventory. 7 weeks. By any measurement, that's a shortage. I can tell you that in the first 3 weeks of this month, we've lost an additional 420 homes. With 2 more weeks still left in the month, we'll be down to a 6-week supply come August at this rate. Okay, next up, let's check out housing absorption. If you watched last month's video, you know that I created this new metric that I think is really powerful as we move forward into this uncharted territory. As you can see on the screen now, this metric tracks the absorption rate or percentage of homes under contract by price range. In just 1 month, the numbers are startling. On the low end of the market, you can clearly see that we went from 47% of homes under contract to 56%. Between 250,000 to 500,000, we went nuts, from 39% to 51%. In the mid-range, from 500 to 75 or to 750, we made another large jump up to 37%. Then the high end went from 25 to 29%. But now look at that 1 million to 1.5 million. Talk about consumer confidence here. We jumped up 11% between 1 million to 1.5 million. That number right there shows that even the most educated and wealthy demographic doesn't seem to be affected much at all by these economic concerns. So basically, this chart is illustrating the absurdly high levels of consumer confidence going on right now. To me, it's a very dangerous looking chart. Okay, now while we're on the subject of consumer confidence and opinion, the main debate right now has to do with whether this hot market will continue or just collapse. You can go back and see my numerous reasons why I feel the market is actually going to go south by the end of the year. Now, one of the reasons I feel that we're in for trouble has to do with mortgage forbearance. While nobody knows the actual number for Nevada mortgage forbearances right now, there was an awesome article, once again, on CNBC's website yesterday that looked into the upcoming maturity of these mortgage forbearances. Again, I'll post a link to that article in the description below along with the other one. But in this article, it states that roughly 8% of government-backed loans are in forbearance right now. That's in contrast to about 11% of privately funded loans. So let's just say 10% overall when you blend them together, right? Considering Nevada leads the country in unemployment, I would say it's fair to assume that we're sitting closer to 15%. With 3 million people in Nevada and an ownership rate of 56%, we end up with 1.2 million mortgages in Nevada. That means that upwards of 180,000 homes in Nevada are under forbearance right now. Now, about 20% of mortgages are actually held out of state, second homes, investors. So that drops you to about, say, 144,000. But realistically, that doesn't mean that out-of-state owners aren't taking forbearances either. But okay, let's just say that I'm way overshooting this. And let's go ahead and cut a third of those numbers right out. That still leaves us with 100,000 homes in mortgage forbearance. 100,000. And remember, I'm being absurdly conservative here. Well, as I mentioned before, the vast majority of homeowners don't actually realize that you still are responsible for paying back those missed payments. Well, in this article, they reached out to 16 private banks to survey their intentions for dealing with all these mortgage forbearances. Some banks, like B of A, are going to apparently just eat the loss right now and add the forbearance balance to the backside of the loan term. Others, like Wells Fargo, are simply going to create repayment plans that will just increase the amount owed on a monthly payment to catch up. Some banks just simply refuse to answer, and others are just being pretty cryptic about providing options. In the end, my concern is that even if the vast majority of homeowners who took out a mortgage forbearance are somehow able to work things out, that still leaves what? 20,000 homeowners in serious trouble? It's really difficult for me to see a scenario where we don't see an influx of listings hit the MLS at the beginning of next year. Now, on either end of the spectrum, I saw the most absurd story floating around social media. Let's watch real quick.
July report looking at housing in Nevada revealed as many as 300,000 Nevadans could be facing evictions when the rent moratorium expires in September. And if people aren't or can't pay rent, landlords...
Okay, 300,000 people? Really? To me, this is literally the definition of fear-mongering. Look, on any given month, Las Vegas courts process about 3,000 eviction filings. That doesn't even mean that 3,000 people are being evicted. We're talking filings. But let's pretend. Well, by the time September comes around, that means a backlog of 6 months worth of evictions, right? So that equates to a normalized amount of 18,000 eviction filings. In speaking with property managers, the missed rents are about double the norm right now. So let's just say that we double the eviction filings. Right there, we have 36,000 evictions that need to be filed. Not evicted, just filed. So how the hell can you go from 36,000 to 300,000? Hell, there's 3 million people living in Nevada with a 56% rate of home ownership, like I just said earlier. That only leaves 1.3 million people here renting. So you mean to tell me that in September, a quarter of the entire rental population is going to be evicted? I mean, sometimes I think these news editors are just bored and they just make this crap up for ratings. I mean, this one makes absolutely no damn sense at all when you break it down and really think about it. So again, don't believe everything you see and hear. Well, guys, that's about it for this month. Have a great midsummer. Stay hydrated out there. Be sure to subscribe and have a wonderful July, everyone. See you next month. I'm out.